Morning, Fred.
Morning, Angus. How are you? It's not so cold this morning.
No, we're okay this morning.
No wind.
No wind.
I was here yesterday late afternoon. Good guy, it was freezing cold. Spoon of sugar. Fred.
What brought you here, Fred? Can you tell me?
Pure hazard. Pure hazard. I was lucky to meet Mary, the owner of the garden, a few years back. Mary is a great supporter of slow food, and she's been a client of us at Les Caveau Blanc for a few years as well. She sent me an email and then came to see me and pushed me to come and see the garden. She was willing to share with youngsters, to share with a chef, or she didn't. I've always been aware that vegetables was becoming a touchy subject, and also obviously buying for the restaurants has been extremely difficult in the last few years. What I mean by difficult is to achieve a good quality in vegetables. I think in the restaurants we've always been pretty good at buying the best we can get, whether it's poultry, meats and so on. But vegetables, it's always been hard. I came to view the garden, looked at it and said to Mary, you know, I'm a chef really. I still cook and I'm a restaurant owner. I can't see how and where and how I would deal with it, but let me have a wee think of it. And a few months later, she was at me again, as you would say, you know, trying to push me to come back.
Did you have a plan as such?
No. We didn't have any plan whatsoever. And to be honest, Angus, I'm still not a gardener today, even though it's my second year. I think it's going to take a few years before you actually know what you're doing. I don't think I know what I'm doing today. It's all test and try and error. Saying that, we've been fairly successful with the support of Mary. With the support of Mary. So the soil had not been used for many years, okay, and it was a garden in the old days, back to maybe 15 years ago. So the soil was actually really, really good.
Were you on your own at that stage, or did you bring other people in?
No, I got some help from the outside. I'm linking cooking with gardening. There is a lot of similarities, and I'm a great believer that if you want to achieve, you will manage. It's all about a mental way and a mental thinking. Most of the vegetables that we have access to in Scotland are coming from either Spain or Holland. It was really sad, and it was getting worse over the years actually. You know, you couldn't keep a carrot for more than a couple of days in the fridge. You couldn't keep lettuces, you know, the lack of flavor, the lack of identity in the fruit and veg, all been similar and mainly all been tasteless. You know, I wasn't crying anymore when I was peeling an onions. It sounds funny, it is actually a funny thing to say, but that's the reality. I ended up with onions that wouldn't cook in a pan, that was just melting into water, no flavor, nothing there. You could use 2, 3, 4, 5 kilos of onions to make a soup, you would still have no flavor in it. How are we going to get some decent vegetables? Now bear in mind the size of the garden we have today is not enough and big enough to supply what we would need in the restaurants. I've looked at what I could grow on a regular basis, okay, that would grow fairly quickly, that I could pick fairly quickly after putting that seed in the soil just to keep me going. You know, from a seed you can get a good lettuce within 3 to 4 weeks. Something that I've understood quite quickly is the short season in Scotland. So I had to make the most of it from April onwards to November and make sure I could get maybe 2, maybe 3 in some time crop. We're in a walled garden as well and keeps it warm and very little wind. This year especially, I think I'm talking about 200 and something kilos of tomatoes that we've grown, diverse varieties, enormous quantities of beans and fresh beans and herbs and salad. I was able to supply the 2 restaurants from mid-May up to late September.
So you've got the polytunnel, which
Yes.
obviously helps with the
Yes.
growing of the tomatoes.
Yes.
Essential, really. You've got raised beds. That obviously raise the temperature in the soil. Does that prolong?
It does. We have raised beds. We have different boxes as raised boxes as well, which we didn't have last summer. So I did buy some potato crates, and we filled them up with soil and compost. And this summer we've used them to grow all our small herbs. Timing. It's all about trying to balance the precious time and trying to get rid of the time that is not rewarding. Last year we had lots of slugs and snails. It was unbelievable. I did look around. I think there is not much we can do for it. So I've learned how to, take it as it comes. Yeah. This year we haven't had that many slugs or snails. I don't know what the reason is. I think we're dealing with Mother Nature, so we can't really control it. But we've had lots of mice. Mice, little rats and things like that. We've lost all our beetroots. Within a few days we had no beetroots left. We've decided to go organic with Mary. I mean, she was organic before. She never used any pesticides or any weed killer or anything like that. So we take it as it comes. We have a cat. We have Coco the cat. That cat's been proved to be a real hunter, and we have nearly no mice left in the boxes, but they've gone somewhere else. This will never grow, and from Mary as well. Fred, waste of time, this will never grow, and this will never grow. And you see, in my life, each time I've been told this, it's giving me even more power to actually achieve it. So lots that we have grown, that's, to some big surprise.
Well, at that point, shall we go out and have a look then?
Yes, of course.
So that's us, Angus, Newton Garden, Newton Wall Garden. We still have a few vegetables around us, a few leeks here, a good handful of turnips, more leeks at the back. We still got a bit of chard, what's left of sedge, and obviously there's not much left around, but we still have a fair bit of different herbs, leaves and dill, bit of coriander. There's a good mix here that's still going. You see, as I was saying early on, in vegetables, I think it's people awareness, which is probably a bit less with vegetables than it is with meat. I think today we're talking about quality of meat, and I think in people's minds, vegetables is a vegetables. I think there is a lot less awareness about vegetables. Over the years I have seen definitely the quality of vegetables just going down and going down. Carrots with absolutely no flavor in them, no taste, no structure, no color. We've seen that with salads. People should think a bit more and be a bit more aware about what's happening in the world of vegetables. And this is really something that has struck me over the last few years. Once the garden was a great opportunity, and it's been absolutely marvelous over the last 2 years to reconnect. And that's me as a chef saying that, reconnect with the texture of vegetables, flavor of vegetables. The first carrots we've had in here, the first lettuces, the dill, the coriander, the parsley. It's been absolutely amazing having, something knocking your mouth and telling you, I am a coriander, I am a carrot. There is one thing, really a strong thing that I've noticed on the first few times I've enjoyed my vegetables. After a meal, my body was telling me thank you. It was saying thank you to me. Thank you, you just gave me some nutrition.